A very happy morning, children. Welcome back to our social class. So, children, I know after a short break you all feel very energetic, isn't it? Yes, keep up your josh. And now we are going to start a new chapter in geography, and the name of the chapter will be agriculture. Okay, so you all know it is one of the most important activities in the world. So it is also a main important economic activity carried out in India, isn't it? So it is a primary activity and is closely related to the natural environment. So first, let's know the definition for agriculture. So, children, the term agriculture has been derived from the Latin word ager, meaning soil, and culture means cultivation. Okay, so it is art and the science of cultivating the soil and raising crops and livestock. So it is still unknown when agriculture actually started. So, however, the invention of agriculture helped the early humans to lead a settled life. And at present, though we are living in the industrial age, still more than half of the world's population is directly or indirectly engaged in agriculture. And we all know that agriculture is the backbone of our economy, isn't it, children? Yeah. So, children, do you know who is he? He is Dr. Norman Ernest Borlaug. Okay, and he is known as the father of agriculture. So, why is he called so? Because he had a great contribution to increase the agricultural production in the world, and he got Nobel Peace Prize in the year 1970 for that. Okay, and after that it led to increase in food supply and saved many people from starvation. So that's why he was awarded Nobel Peace Prize. Now, who is the father of agriculture? Yes, Dr. Norman Ernest Borlaug. Okay. So now we are going to see about the factors influencing agriculture. So the methods of farming, the types of crops grown and the amount of production vary from place to place. Okay, so this variation is due to the changing environmental conditions, that is due to relief, due to the climate and the other features. Okay, and some of the physical and the economical factors which influence agriculture are as follows. So one by one we are going to see in detail. So first one is relief. So the land on which crops are grown is known as arable land, and which crops are not grown is called as wasteland or barren land. Okay, and the lowlands such as river basins, floodplains and deltas. You all know what is a delta. The triangular shaped land is called as delta, isn't it? And they are more suitable for the growth and the development of agriculture than the highlands. Okay, so in the lowlands, dense population not only provides adequate and cheap labor but also a ready market for the farm products. Okay, and in the hilly and the mountainous areas, soil erosion is rapid, and moreover the farm machinery cannot be used and the means of transport also is limited. This you all know, because in the mountains all the facilities will not be available as in the plains. Okay, so this is also a factor which influence agriculture, that is the relief, the landform. Okay. So children, the next topic will be the climatic conditions. So the hot and the humid climate favor agriculture, and thus cultivation is possible almost throughout the year in the equatorial and the tropical regions. So in winter and in the cold regions, what will happen? The temperature is very low there, isn't it? And the plant growth will be very less, and the moisture requirement for the crops is also needed for cultivation. So it varies according to temperature, and more moisture is needed in the tropical areas than in the temperate areas for the same crop. Okay, so what is moisture? It is a water content in the air. So it is difficult to grow crops in dry areas without irrigation. Okay, children, so this is also one of the factor which promotes agriculture. Next one is soil. Now let's see. So the next factor is soil. So the soil not only supports the plant but also acts as a medium to supply moisture and the nutrients to the plant. And porous soil is very soft, it can be filled easily. And next one, clay soil. It has high moisture and retentive capacity, and alluvial soil is more fertile. The soil, which has a variety of minerals in it, is suitable for the production of a variety of crops. So, however, soil fertility reduces with continuous cultivation. That is, whenever you go and sow seeds in the same place, what will happen? Once you harvest all the crops in the same place, the soil loses its fertility and you cannot grow more and more crops. Okay, so thus it is necessary to maintain the fertility of the soil. So, children, next we are going to see about economic and the other factors. So, the economic factors include the availability of the farm inputs, that is, what all things we are investing in the farm, and adequate and cheap labor, transport, markets, and loans for the farmers. And the main farm inputs, okay, they are seeds, fertilizers, machinery, and labor. Labor is nothing but the work we do in the farm. And the other important factors that influence agriculture are the system of land tenure. So, what is that land tenure? Right to cultivate in somebody else's land for a particular period of time. So, that is called as land tenure. And next one, land use, availability of farm machinery, and government policies, and the level of the scientific and the technological developments. Okay, so these are all the factors which influence agriculture. So first, what did we see? First we saw about the relief, next about the climatic condition, next one about the soil, and now the economic and the other factors. So they all contribute to the agriculture of a place. Next we are going to see about the types of farming. So children, many types of farming have developed in different parts of the world due to variable, that means different environmental conditions. Okay, so these types are not fixed and may change due to the changing geographical conditions or the historical background of a place. And some of the important types of farming we'll be discussing now. Okay. So children, first one what we are going to see is subsistence farming. So subsistence farming is mainly practiced to meet the needs of the farmer's family. Okay, and in subsistence farming or agriculture, the farm output is targeted to the survival, that is to our living, and is mostly for the local requirements with a little or no surplus. And planting decisions are made principally with an eye towards what the family will need during the coming year, and secondly only towards the market. So subsistence farming is done only for the family. Okay, the farmer's family, and next only they sell in the market. So here generally the production is very low, and all types of manure and a little of chemical fertilizers are used in subsistence farming, and therefore the farmers are poor and the standard of living also is low. Okay, and here the farmer does not look into the suitability of the soil for the cultivation of those crops, and the labor is provided by the members of the farmer's family. Okay, and here they use primitive methods to produce a variety of crops. Okay children, so this is about subsistence farming. So the next one is intensive farming. So in intensive farming, the farmer tries to get the maximum possible output from a small plot of land, and the farmer uses simple tools and abundant, that is more human labor. And this type of farming is mostly practiced in the densely populated, that means highly populated countries of the monsoon region. What is monsoon? Rainy. Okay, so in the areas where rainfall is more. So due to a long growing season in fertile soil, the farmer is able to grow 2 or 3 crops annually on the same land. Okay children, so intensive farming or intensive agriculture is a kind of agriculture where a lot of money and labor are used to increase the yield that can be obtained per area of land, and the use of large amounts of pesticides for crops and of medication for animal stocks is common in intensive farming. Okay children, and the other crops cultivated here are wheat, maize, sugarcane, pulses, and oil seeds. And rice is the most important crop grown. Okay, this is about intensive farming. So next one is extensive farming. So this is mostly practiced in the sparsely populated areas, that is where the population is very less and where abundant land is suitable for farming is available. And the land holdings are usually large and the farm work is done by the machines. Okay, and one or two commercial crops are generally grown in this place, and the most important crops grown here are wheat and maize, and the total output is high but the yield per hectare is low. So in some regions the long winter restricts the growing season, and in such areas only single crop is grown. Okay, children. So, extensive farming or extensive agriculture is an agricultural production system that uses small inputs of labor, fertilizers, and capital relative to the land area being farmed. Okay. So the next one, what we are going to see is shifting cultivation. That means what? Changing. Okay. So changes from one place to another. So shifting cultivation is an agricultural system in which a person uses a piece of land only to abandon or alter. Alter means change the initial use a short time later. So this system often involves clearing of a piece of land followed by several years of wood harvesting or farming until the soil loses its fertility. So until the soil loses its fertility, what will happen? They'll be sowing the seeds, they'll be reaping the crops again and again. They'll be repeating the process until the soil loses its fertility. So once the land becomes inadequate for crop production, that is once you cannot get more crops from there, it is left to be reclaimed by natural vegetation, or sometimes it is converted to a different long-term cyclical farming practice. And this system of agriculture is often practiced at the level of an individual or family. So but sometimes the whole village may be involved in this process. So this is mainly practiced in the forested areas of the Amazon basin, tropical Africa, and parts of Southeast Asia and parts of Northeast India. Okay, children. So as the land is cleared by cutting and burning bushes and trees, this type of farming is also called as slash and burn agriculture. So this term is very important. Answer. Okay, so what is called slash and burn agriculture? What is the other name? It is shifting cultivation. Okay, so this type of farming is also called as slash and burn agriculture, and the farming methods are primitive. So what all crops are grown here? Crops like yam, cassava, maize, potato are mostly grown, and after 2 or 3 years what will happen? The soil will lose the fertility, isn't it? Yes, and shifting cultivation, though it is destructive, it is still practiced in many parts of the world, and it is known by different local names in different parts of the world. So it is called as Jhum, Jhum, in Northeast India, and Ladang in Malay Peninsula, and Chinchin in the Philippines, and Milpa in Central America, Konuk in Venezuela, Roca in Brazil, and Mazul in the Congo basin of Africa. So it is called by different names in different parts of the world. So what are we seeing now? We are saying about shifting cultivation. So what is the other name for shifting cultivation? It is slash and burn agriculture. Okay, register in your mind. So children, the next one is commercial farming. So in commercial farming, the crops are grown and livestock are reared for sale in the market. So it can be intensive or extensive, and the farms are generally large in size and the investments are high here. Okay, so in olden days, most of the farmers in India used to cultivate crops for their own food purpose, which is personal agriculture. So here the farmer tries to keep the cost of production as low as possible. Okay, and most of the work on the farm is done by machines, and this type of farming is mostly practiced in the prairies of North America, the pampas of South America, and the steppes of Eurasia. And commercial grain farming is in the middle latitudes, is essentially of this type. So children, the last topic what we are going to see in this video is about plantation agriculture. So this is a type of commercial farming in which a single crop is grown for the entire year. So the crop production may be further processed on the farm itself where it is grown or in nearby factories or some small scale industries. Okay. So plantation is nothing but is a large farm where one particular crop is cultivated, as I told you, for its sale in the market. So plantation agriculture is a type of commercial farming and was introduced by the Europeans in the tropical and the subtropical regions. Okay, and the farms are called estates, are very large and efficient and scientific methods are used here, and cheap and skilled labor and huge capital investment are required for plantation agriculture, and mostly crops like tea, coffee, sugarcane, rubber, banana, spices and cotton is grown, and the plantations are managed like industrial units. And examples of such farming are the rubber plantations in Malaysia, coffee plantations in Brazil, tea plantations in India and banana plantations in West Indies. And banana plantations are mostly found in the tropical regions. Okay, so in India we have the tea plantations. Okay, children. So children, in today's video we have discussed about what is agriculture, what are the factors influencing agriculture like relief, climatic conditions, soil, economic factors, other factors, and about types of farming we discussed: subsistence farming, intensive farming, extensive farming, shifting cultivation, commercial farming, and the last one was plantation agriculture. Okay, so now we'll just discuss the exercises and we'll close up the session, and the remaining part of the lesson will be dealt in the next class. Okay children, and the next class we'll be concentrating on types of crops. Okay, so now we'll just go through some exercises. First Roman letter will be fill in the blanks. Agriculture is a dash activity. It is a primary activity. Second one, the dash farming is practiced to feed the farmer's family. What type of farming it is? It is subsistence farming. Third one, scientist who specializes in the science of agriculture is called dash. They are called as agronomist. Fourth one, the increase in food grain production is called dash. It is called green revolution. Fifth one, shifting cultivation in North India is called as THUM. THUM. Next one, massive following. First one, clayey soil. It has high moisture and retentive capacity. Next one, shifting cultivation. They are forested areas of the Amazon basin. Third one, food crops, cereals and vegetables. Cotton. Cotton is a fiber crop. Last one, coffee plant. It is found in the highlands of southern Europe. So children, complete your work given. Do your work neatly with legible handwriting. Okay children, take care and be safe. Thank you children. Have a great day.